Welcome, dear viewers, to another riveting episode in our series on the principles of power over weaknesses. Today we embark on a fascinating journey through the realms of colonialism, globalization, and the enigmatic concept of space. These intertwined forces have shaped our world in profound ways, often hidden beneath the surface of our daily lives. As we delve into this complex topic, we'll explore how the legacy of colonialism continues to influence our modern globalized world. From international politics to economic systems, from cultural exchanges to personal identities, the echoes of colonialism and the forces of globalization continue to shape our reality. So let's don our intellectual explorers' hats and set forth on this enlightening adventure. To truly grasp the interplay between colonialism, globalization, and space, we must first take a step back in time. The age of colonialism, which reached its zenith in the 19th century, saw European powers extend their reach across the globe. Nations like Britain, France, Spain, and Portugal established vast empires, redrawing the world map in their own image. This colonial expansion was driven by a potent mix of economic ambition, political rivalry, and a belief in cultural superiority. Indigenous peoples were displaced, traditional ways of life disrupted, and new power structures imposed. As we moved into the 20th century, the formal structures of colonialism began to crumble. But in its wake, a new force emerged: globalization. Now let's turn our attention to the fascinating relationship between space and identity and how this has been shaped by the colonial legacy. The concept of space goes far beyond mere physical geography. It encompasses the social, cultural, and psychological dimensions of how we perceive and interact with our environment. In the colonial context, space became a tool of power and control. Colonial powers often imposed their own spatial logic on conquered territories, reorganizing landscapes, cities, and even social structures. This wasn't just about physical control, but also about reshaping identities and worldviews. The colonized were often made to feel out of place in their own lands, their traditional spatial relationships disrupted and devalued. In our globalized world, these spatial dynamics have become even more complex. Our identities are shaped by local realities and global influences. Barbarism, culture, and civilization. Spatial perspectives. Let's now explore the intriguing relationship between the concepts of barbarism, culture, and civilization, and how these ideas have been shaped by spatial perspectives. In the colonial mindset, civilization was often equated with European culture and ways of life. The lands and peoples encountered by colonizers were frequently labeled as barbaric or uncivilized. Regardless of the sophistication of their own cultures, this spatial division between the civilized and the barbaric was used to justify colonial expansion and the imposition of European norms. This process of spatial and cultural transformation left deep scars that are still visible in many parts of the world today. In our globalized era, these concepts have been challenged and redefined. The challenge now is to create a more equitable global space that respects and celebrates cultural differences. Philosophical insights. Hegel and Heidegger on space and being. To understand space and human existence, let's explore Hegel and Heidegger. Hegel saw history as a dialectical process of spiritual and rational development. For Hegel, space was a stage for human consciousness. Heidegger emphasized being in the world, shaped by spatial relationships. For Heidegger, space was a network of meaningful relationships. Our identity and sense of being are tied to the spaces we inhabit. The future of space in a globalized world. As we conclude our exploration of colonialism, globalization, and space, let's turn our gaze to the future. How will our understanding and experience of space evolve in our interconnected world? Digital technologies create virtual spaces that transcend physical boundaries. We're also seeing a renewed emphasis on local spaces and identities. The interplay between global and local spaces will shape our future spatial experiences. Another crucial consideration is the ongoing struggle for spatial justice. Inequalities from colonialism manifest in spatial terms, from urban segregation to global economic disparities. Addressing these issues requires rethinking our spatial relationships. Until next time, keep questioning, exploring, and expanding your mental map of the world.